broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin! American Dream.
He's just a common man, working hard with his hands.
It's a celebration of life, y'all.
Yes.
It's a celebration of the icon, the legend, and this song, if it doesn't make you dance, what the hell are you doing with yourself?
You know, we had considered making the entire episode just Johnny doing that dance for
Fun
about
dab
an hour.
dance.
I'm still
See
doing it.
how many people tuned in.
I'm going to keep going. Periscope
The
this.
whole time, you're dancing your headphones
Just
off.
get my
He was
headphones
getting
just-
ready to dance, and he almost knocked over water onto my computer second
The
time.
music's not even going. I'm still
Nope.
dancing.
Dangerous dancing.
Give me a
It's
gift.
going, it's faint.
Well, everybody, welcome to the Monday Night Raw After Show. Oh, yeah, right here on AfterBuzz TV. Yeah, you know, it's been a rough week, and but you know, we're at the point where you got to celebrate the life of Dusty Rhodes, and that's what we're gonna do. Do a little introduction here. At J Quasto on the Twitter. This lovely lady right here, she is from Chicago, and apparently the Blackhawks just won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, they won tonight.
Are you excited, or you're just like, eh?
No, I'm very excited. I am running on very little sleep right now, so
Oh.
probably
okay.
gonna be like this the
There
entire
you go.
episode. But
Perfect.
Hi guys.
Yeah. At Cathy Kelley on Twitter. That man right there in the lovely flannel shirt. See him every week on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. He's all about that positive mental attitude. Find him on Twitter at Ty Matthews PMA. He be Ty Matthews.
How you doing, Johnny? Good to see you again.
Great to see you guys. again.
It always leaves a hole in my heart when we're without you for a week, so it's good to see you.
It's good to have the squad back. It definitely is. And that dude right there, he is as over as anyone can get. You can see him every week on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Find him on Twitter at True Hobo.
True
He is
Hobo.
the Hobo.
Hey, book the hobo. Go ahead, hit me up on the email. Hoboman3@hotmail.com. Book the
He's
hobo.
so
Why not?
over
I'll
on
do
my
the plug,
Periscope.
baby.
Is that a new T-shirt?
No, man, this is actually a band out of the Utah area called Hectic Hobo. They do kind of a funky, folky kind of hobo thing, man. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a sweet shirt, dude.
Yeah.
You should contact him and be like, let's do
I
something
met
together.
them. They actually offered to do a song for me. We were able to collab.
You need to.
Sure.
There you go.
I never say no.
You got to say yes to everything.
Absolutely.
But let's just, give our respects to Dusty Rhodes. I mean, I'll say this on Compadres tomorrow. I'll say it right now. That if there's anyone who maximized every second on Earth, that would be Dusty Rhodes.
It was so hard for both myself and Mark to break the news at AfterBuzz. That was
Did you find out when you were here?
we found out 5 minutes before we had to come and do our NXT after show.
Oh man, that's
And
rough.
we still came on. We broke the news before anybody else had an opportunity to, because we felt it was absolutely a necessity
Oh yeah.
that we inform people and celebrate this man for everything that he was, and he meant so much to so many people, and we were able to see that tonight with all of those spectacular video packages.
And especially given his stake in NXT.
Yes.
I mean, I think whenever this happens, obviously it's a tragedy, but if there's anything to be gained from it, it's bittersweet, because we see all of these incredible video packages and we see the impact that people like that had on the pro wrestling community.
I mean, we look at the former host of this show, our friend Ryan Katz. They work together really closely, and they he's told us so many great quotes from Dusty Rhodes. Like, what was the one quote when Katz first came in, and I guess he had a good idea or something, and Dusty said something sort of, "This guy been here 40 minutes, I've been here 40 years, Daddy, but okay, who is Ryan Katz?" It was something like that, and just but yeah, he's expressed to us how amazing Dusty was to work with and how much he learned, and that's one thing. Dusty stayed relevant his entire career.
Right.
Every generation knows Dusty Rhodes, whether or not know anything about wrestling.
Right, and once again, you can tell all the people that are in NXT right now. They see him they saw him as this mentor figure. You know, he was guiding the next generation.
I had a lot of downtime this weekend, and I was listening to a lot of podcasts, interviews of NXT wrestlers and main roster people, and so many of them, these happened months ago. These were taped months ago, and they cited Dusty as being that creative person in what helped build their characters.
Right.
He had a mind for it like nobody else.
Well, if you look at old promos, him and our generation, my first introduction to him was his WWE days in the early 90s because I was super young. But over the years, I've gone back and I've watched his old stuff from the NWA and that Hard Times promo. Every time he talked, you believe what he was saying. And that's why, I think so many people need to go back and watch him. I would pay to see that guy because I believed everything he said, and he believed it.
Right. He's one of those guys that really, it holds up. You watch a lot of stuff back then that doesn't necessarily hold up. A lot of stuff from Dusty, it holds up. Everything he does translates to every generation.
Yeah, it really does.
Hard times haven't left us. Hard times are now. The times have changed a little bit, but it ain't getting any easier out there, man.
That promo holds up.
Absolutely.
The line about a computer taking your job, that's no more applicable than it is
It's
today.
way worse now. And just all the feuds he had and just all the classic moments and just his entrance music. That it's infectious. Right. I listened to it I think 13 times on the way to the Championship Wrestling taping yesterday. I just listened to it over and over and over again because, we're all sad, but at the same time, you have to celebrate the guy's life because he wasn't one of those guys that faded away or someone who had an attitude. No, he kept helping until the day he left.
So passionate about it and wanted to see that next generation succeed as well.
Yeah, it was a beautiful tribute, and I'm sure the documentary airing right now? Or is it
it's airing right now.
Okay, so I can't wait to watch that because
absolutely.
Oh, what a career! And just he's a guy. When you think of him, you automatically smile, and the fact that we all do impressions of him, that's flattery. It's so fun to do. Number one,
it is. It absolutely is.
Maria's impression made it into his reel.
It was great. She did that on her own, and she loved the promo, and she memorized it, and he dug it. And it's so fun to talk like Dusty Rhodes because he's a legend, and so. It was a great tribute to him, and let's get to Monday Night Raw, because that's what he would want us to do, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins comes out, and he decides to thank everyone who helped him retain the title, and that would be Seth Rollins, Hobo, am I missing someone?
Seth Rollins.
Okay, Ty.
Did you mention Seth Rollins?
Yes, okay. Cathy, is there anyone else that he forgot to thank?
Seth Rollins?
Seth Rollins. He thanked Seth Rollins for helping him retain the title at Money in the Bank, and I love this moment when he said, no one in Cleveland is going to bring a title home. LeBron James won't do it, and Johnny Idiot Face.
Yeah.
God, that made me happy, because I can't stand Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Idiot Face?
Oh, and I've been called Johnny Idiot Face, so feel free to call me that, too. I get it.
It's a common.
I'm totally okay with that, but man, I can't stand Manziel.
I know nothing about Johnny Manziel. I just popped for Johnny Idiot Face.
He's a dude that he's a 20-year-old kid who got drafted way earlier than he should have.
Okay.
He was a freelancing quarterback in college. He runs around, doesn't know how to run a playbook, and the Browns drafted him. Ticket sales went up, but he tanked and then went to rehab. And he's still on the team, but he's a train wreck.
I see.
The Browns just haven't been as good since they came back.
Well, it takes time. It takes way longer than it should have.
Decades. Hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years. Yes, it sure does. But Dean Ambrose comes down. He charges Seth Rollins and attacks. And then he hits that mic and he says, I'm going to change things up tonight. So I'm going to sit in the middle of this ring and I'm not going to leave until you get your ass back out here, Seth Rollins. And that's when we go to commercial. Solid.
He loves that chaos. He loves creating chaos.
As he should.
Enjoys it. Soaks it up like a big old sponge.
And you could tell a guy like Dean Ambrose definitely influenced by a guy like Dusty Rhodes. Because you believe what Dean Ambrose is saying.
And one of the best Dusty impressions you've ever heard, for sure.
I haven't heard it.
Really?
Absolutely.
Really?
Have you not heard it? Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. There's so many good ones out there.
Yeah.
he was again, that's what makes somebody memorable. Is it's not just their stuff in the ring, it's when they get on that mic. You have to want to recreate what they say. It's their voice. I mean, you look at Macho Man, it's the same way. It was what he said, it was how he said it, it was the intensity, it was the believability. It's all that, man.
The cliche of imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Of course,
And
absolutely.
it is.
It really is.
I'm not saying exists.
Now, as much as I've been enjoying Dean Ambrose, and as much as I think he did, turned in really solid stuff tonight, I really wasn't on board with this opening segment. And it's because it falls into this pattern of WWE babyfaces acting in ways that I can't get on board with. He lost fair and square at Money in the Bank last night.
True.
Why is he going to take the show hostage? Why does he feel slighted at this point?
Because he's a lunatic fringe. He doesn't need a reason.
But why do I need to get on board with that as a fan? He got to me to like what I'm seeing is that Seth Rollins beat him fair and square. He's mad about that, so he's going to take it out on everyone.
I mean,
and I don't get on board with babyfaces that act like that.
I agree with you, but the reason he did it is because the fans allow it to happen. If it was going to get a bad reaction, he wouldn't have done it.
Right.
But he is probably the most entertaining thing because he doesn't follow a formula. He doesn't follow a format, and the people are waiting, just watching him for whatever he does next because it's gripping. They don't know.
Big time. Oh, well, yeah, Dean Ambrose, you see the thought process going in his brain as he's speaking. He's not trying to come up with things to say. He's just like, all right, what am I doing here? And then it just comes out naturally. I see your point, though, about the opening segment. I mean...
Right. Don't get me wrong. He's entertaining as all hell, but it's a question of motivation for me. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
And it continues this pattern of WWE babyfaces doing things and acting in ways that are irrational but still get good reactions.
Well, I feel like that's just a lack of old school booking.
And it's and not only that, but it's the chaos of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that whole thing, and they even mentioned it on commentary. Why would Seth Rollins come back out? Like, what is his reason to come back out? He doesn't have one. He doesn't have to.
Right, exactly. And it's like I said, as weaselly as he's been, and as amazing of a heel as he's been, he straight up won.
Yeah.
And so to me, and I think to a lot of fans, it really just makes Dean Ambrose seem like a sore loser at this point.
That's okay, though. If there's any guy that could get away with it, it would be.
Of course.
It's forgivability. He's got it. You can forgive him for that. He came close, and people say he represents the people, and people right now are getting put down by the company, by the man at large. So he represents the people, and the people want to see somebody to stand up and do something wrong for the right reason.
He's really stepped into the Daniel Bryan role, even though Daniel Bryan didn't do that necessarily. But even last night, I think that there were yes chants during some of the spots that Dean Ambrose was doing.
And people have said for not a long time, but for a while now, that you see Dean Ambrose, it's a little bit of Brian Pillman, a little bit of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
A lot of Brian Pillman.
Yeah, and you look at Steve
Tom
Austin,
Waits.
he was the anti-hero. Who?
Tom Waits.
An actor musician.
Right,
yeah.
looks like Tom Waits. And
No, it has the same inflection in his voice and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Got that gravelly voice.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dean Ambrose, he's kind of like the anti-hero, kind of like Stone Cold was in a way, and so
Absolutely.
everyone's
and
on board.
That's one of the archetypical, if that's a word, stories that's told in pro wrestling is the anti-hero standing up to the establishment, especially since the Mr. McMahon character.
You know who else everyone enjoys? That'd be the Hobo. Ghost Noble in chat roll says, Hobo for president in capital letters.
Hey,
Absolutely.
honestly, could it get any worse?
Can I be a running mate?
Absolutely.
I'll be a campaign manager. Ty, you'd be a great campaign manager.
There we go.
Positive mental attitude.
What can I do?
Kathy, Kathy, you have to be the organized one, because look at us.
Yeah, I mean,
The three
I
of
could
us.
do a bake sale.
You're the glue that holds it all together.
Yeah, she's the glue. That's for sure.
she's the brains of this operation.
We're kind of just like chaos. You
I
just
thought
point us in
I'm
a direction.
rubber. You're glue.
So Seth Rollins is backstage after the commercial break. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, they all start talking, and they said, we heard you say you don't really need anyone, and Seth decides to tuck his tail between his legs. And they said, you know what, we'll figure out who your next opponent is, because it could be anyone. And, you beat Dean Ambrose all by yourself, so let us pick your opponent all by yourself, to which Seth is like, oh, okay. All right, fine. That's
Right.
it. Moving on, Sheamus. Unless you have thoughts on that.
No.
Simple.
Continue.
Mr. Money in the Bank, much to the chagrin of everybody, Sheamus takes on Dean Ambrose, and this is a incredibly physical match, as one would imagine. Sheamus decides to scurry away after Ambrose gets the upper hand. He's like, I don't need to be here. I got the Money in the Bank briefcase. Orton comes down, gets back in the ring. Ambrose will roll up for the win. Orton attacks. So we have Orton versus Sheamus again, I guess.
So we're going to have an entire year, potentially, of them pushing Sheamus because he has the briefcase.
Right.
Yeah, an entire year.
That is what we're looking at.
I know, Cathy. I know. It's okay.
That's the thing.
Clench your teeth into a smile. Yeah.
With Sheamus winning that briefcase, that basically says there's not going to be a cash in for quite some time.
Not a while.
Right?
Right. But I think that's kind of the pattern that they've really fallen into. I think gone are the days of people cashing it in quickly. I think back when the World Heavyweight title was a separate title, I think that's when we saw, same night cash-ins after a month, something like that. Now it's really about prolonging that inevitability over the course of, as much of the year as they can.
So for me right now, where Sheamus is at is very much where Batista was at before Guardians of the Galaxy, where he has an awesome role that is coming up that he wants to promote.
But that's going to be a while away, isn't it?
I know.
Well, so was Guardians of the Galaxy, so I kind of see where she's
fans are not behind him. He's boring right now. There's really nothing going on with his storyline that can get us invested into it. And I feel like the only reason why he's around or being pushed is because of the business aspect of WWE. Like they know that they're going to make money by having a movie star on their show, but it doesn't really do anything for us right now. I don't know. I was overwhelmed by negative tweets yesterday when he won the briefcase.
Right.
Like, there were some really cool spots in that match,
that's
but
okay. If people were saying nothing, that would be bad.
Right.
But they're saying bad things because he's
they weren't even mentioning him. They were saying, I wish someone else won. I wish this person won. I wish this person won. They didn't even mention Sheamus.
Is it the right kind of heat in that scenario?
The only difference between he and Batista is Sheamus I can watch because he's technically, he's something.
And that's the thing. I think Sheamus is different in that given the right opponent, he can turn in really good stuff.
Both of them have potential, and I'm not saying that he's a bad worker.
No, not at all.
What the storyline or lack of storyline that he's in right now does nothing for me.
Right.
And I'll say this, I've enjoyed Sheamus since he's come back. I like this heel
I liked
Sheamus.
him the first day he came back, and then I was back to being bored.
See, I'm still into it. I don't think he needed the briefcase. Out of the 7 people in this match, honestly, Sheamus would have been possibly the last one I thought would have won, maybe next to Orton since he's won before. I'll be honest, I picked Kane. People made fun of me. I was like, if Kane wins the briefcase, he could mess with Rollins.
Yeah, I can see people making fun of him for that.
I understand, but it's like, I didn't think it was going to be
For
Sheamus.
a multitude of reasons.
Well, I never get anything right.
I feel like the most interesting I found Sheamus in the last 3 years were the rumors that he was dating Caitlyn when he was injured.
I never heard about that.
Yeah. And that wasn't even true.
Well, then there you go.
Yeah, so he's got the briefcase. Very interesting choice.
The match for Ambrose, that was a good match.
Sure, oh, of course.
So I honestly, I don't think that he versus Orton is good at all. I think it's possibly the worst choice.
I think we should absolutely move on from that combination and give him some new opponents,
Well, that's
Get
the thing
them the
with
hell away from each other.
With so many people not on board with Sheamus, that's a lot of confidence of putting someone for that briefcase. Like, he's going to hang on to that for a while, and you would think if he's going to cash in, he's going to win.
I forgot who mentioned it on Twitter yesterday, but they were saying that they really, genuinely believe that he is going to be unsuccessful in his cash-in because they mentioned that a couple times. Almost everyone has won, with the exception of 2 people. 13 out of 15
right.
Have won the title.
You could get a Mr. Kennedy situation, too. Let's not say it's not impossible.
Okay, go explain.
He could lose it.
Right, exactly.
Somehow.
Ken Kennedy lost the briefcase without ever having cashed it in.
Right.
So
nobody remembers that.
Which makes me upset.
He lost it in a match.
I love Ken Anderson.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
he got
the way it happened.
He got a real raw deal. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, it was a bummer.
Raw deal?
Yes, a raw deal. That was pre-Cathy. That was pre-Cathy wrestling.
He lost. Obviously, Sandow lost when he tried to cash in, and it's like, I think obviously they have to introduce the possibility of people losing when they cash in, but it's so much time invested in that person that you really risk. I mean, and thematically it fits with some of the promos we saw tonight, but you really risk losing out on your investment. You know, if you've invested the better part of a year and then that person cashes in and they lose, I mean, that better be some damn good storytelling to justify that decision.
And I understand the whole movie thing. Here's the thing. Turtles is not going to be Guardians. I mean, the last Turtles, I didn't even see it, but I know everyone that saw it said it sucked. So I don't know if this is going to be is Michael Bay doing this one? I don't even know. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to imagine.
But it's isn't it like a year away?
It's a while away, and I don't necessarily think that it has to do with this push right now.
I don't think so.
I think they're genuinely on board with him.
All right.
But, you know, whether the crowd, you know, is as such remains to be seen.
I think he's going to have to start doing Kevin Owens type stuff eventually.
Well, and when he first started, when he was working against guys like Neville and Ziggler and stuff like that, that was really good stuff. You know, as long as he's active and as long as he's moving quickly and, you know, really beating the crap out of people, you know, that's the Sheamus that really is compelling.
He is a company man as well, and I think that that's one of the reasons why he is going to be around for a very long time.
He's Triple H's boy.
Yeah.
Boy right there.
I mean, he's a good dude for the company. So,
And in general, he's a decent guy. I mean, the problem is, I think that against Orton, Sheamus runs. You want, like you guys just said, you want to see him beating the hell out of people. You can't put him against Orton. You got to put him against somebody who he can beat the crap out of.
yeah, I think Sheamus Orton doesn't have anyone too pumped.
No.
There's the gas ran out a long time ago on that pairing.
Yeah, apparently the new Ninja Turtles is going to have Vanilla Ice singing "Go Ninja Go" once again. God,
Damn right
please,
it
I
is.
hope that's real.
Damn right it is.
Is it real?
I don't know.
It'll be a rock and roll version.
We're calling it.
He's like a heavy metal guy.
It's happening. Backstage, Seth Rollins with J&J Security calls them Harry and Lloyd. Made me laugh. Dumb and Dumber reference always makes me happy. He's like, I'll bring you back on board. I'll bring you back on board if you help me find out who my opponent is at, what's the next pay-per-view?
Battleground.
Boom.
5 weeks.
Yes, there you go.
Finally, some time in between pay-per-views. I was like not
breathe.
used to it at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we have any NXT specials in between?
Not that
I think we got a
know of
solid
yet.
5 weeks to breathe, guys.
Well, we have the July 4th one,
We do.
but
We
that's
have
not
the
a real
Tokyo show.
special. So
That's going to be good stuff,
The July 4th thing, that's a WWE thing. That's a company thing with an NXT. Big NXT
Finn
match.
Balor, Kevin Owens.
though. Absolutely. Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston.
Oh my
Yes.
Something's got to happen
I'm so
there.
pumped for that.
Oh my
If
gosh.
Kofi's got this
We're gonna be up at 3 a.m.
Oh, you're
Can we have like a watching party at 3 a.m.?
It's like,
That's East Coast time. Here it'll be 6 in the morning.
Oh, perfect.
even better.
No, it'll be midnight if it's 3 a.m. East Coast time.
There you go. Thicker.
We could have a cup of Kofi to keep us awake during it.
Cup of coffee.
Damn it.
So Jamie Noble says #1 contender should be Joey Mercury. And that's when Joey steps in, and I love this. He said, Rollins, you're afraid of me. I know you're afraid of me. The question is not if you're going to lose a title, but when you'll lose it, and then they walk away. I love J&J, man. Just...
If we can get a solid, like, lengthy one-on-one match between Seth Rollins and Joey Mercury, that's like the blow-off to this segment,
Yeah.
I'm so in. I'm on board with that 1,000%. And or Jamie Noble.
Boom.
I think J&J should enter the tag team division.
You know?
Why not? There's a short
That's
list
really-
of tag teams right now. J&J.
The thing is, though, do we...
That's not a bad idea.
We
at all.
don't know, though. You know, if they go as a tag team, they're going to be faces. Or do they want to make them faces or heels? Who knows?
Right. But like bumbling faces, like...
Oh, of course.
Right.
Keystone Cops.
Absolutely.
Come after the Benny Hill theme song. Love to see it.
But then they get in the ring and it's like they're savants. Like they've still retained everything over the course of their career.
Getting on a bicycle.
Exactly.
Muscle memory, you
For
know?
those who can ride a bike, which I can't. So anyways,
Me neither.
oh, nice.
Us, 3 of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could never afford one.
Hey,
I thought it was just me. Well, that's
we're
true.
not functional adults,
Yeah, we're
guys.
not at all.
We never grew up. We're
I didn't
wrestling fans.
Learn how to ride a bike until 4th grade, so
Okay.
Well, you're still...
ahead of the
That's ahead
curve,
of us.
That's
apparently.
right. See, that's why you're running this show. We can't ride the bike.
That's why we're gonna win our political race because of Cathy.
But you know, as much as I love silent, sad clown Joey Mercury, I love fired up verbal Joey Mercury even more.
It's nice how he's killing it.
Absolutely.
Jamie always does. Moving on next, we had more highlights of Dusty Rhodes' career, the NWA World Title match versus Harley Race, and wow, that's history right there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oof. Love it. Moving on, R-Truth comes down in clothing fit for a king. Oh, Cathy snorted.
There it is.
Yes.
Thanks, shot, guys.
Oh no.
Bedecked in, what was it, a bed sheet and a Burger King crown wrapped in foil.
Burger King crown wrapped in tin foil.
It's good. And then I think like written with like marker written on it as well.
And I could see R-Truth giggling as he was putting that crown together. It wouldn't surprise me if he did that.
That's R-Truth is. I'm starting to get.
I love aloof R-Truth.
It's been.
Ooh.
It doesn't actually rhyme, but
It's
I like
great,
it.
though.
But you know.
Thanks.
It's been a while since I've been really on board with R-Truth. Like since the Little Jimmy days. Since for some reason using a water bottle as a weapon. Those days, I miss those days. But now. Really starting to get on board with what
I
he's
loved
doing.
last week when he came out and
That'll
was
be
like,
good.
That was
yeah, I'm gonna be in the match, and then
And then tonight, him sitting down at commentary and JBL having to
you're
tell him
in
he's
the
And he
match.
goes, "What's up, coach?" He doesn't stop calling Byron coach, and it's the best. And yeah, I love that. How you're right. JBL had to tell him, "You're in the match right now." I was like, "Well, I am."
Wait, can we also talk about how we always talk about tweeners like, are they heels, are they faces? And you were talking about how Byron is a heel on SmackDown, but he's...
Well, you can't be a double heel with JBL. I mean...
Oh, that's true.
Heel of all heels.
JBL's a blowhard. He's going to be... It'd be the same thing twice.
Right, right. And there's a lot of... Sometimes there's not a lot of continuity referencing between the shows. Obviously, we've seen between Raw and NXT, and then... there's not a lot of identity continuity between SmackDown announcers and Raw announcers.
Yeah, very true. And also, I will say this. Last week, that segment, that might win a Slammy. Don't they have like a funny moment of the year, I think?
Oh, yeah. That very well may.
I dare anyone to top that. Because that's funnier than anyone falling in slop or...
I was going to say, if butt stuff, if any sort of butt stuff wins...
No, because that was pure comedy. What Truth did was beautiful timing.
And it's meta and it's timely in a way that you're not really used to seeing on Raw.
Oh, let's not forget the plunger he came out with.
Oh, yes.
Also, he came out with a plunger.
A crystal plunger.
Shout out to
if you will.
TL Hopper.
If you will.
If you will.
You guys remember TL Hopper?
Who?
TL Hopper.
What the hell is that?
He was a wrestling plumber. WWF,
Yes.
1995.
Was he around when Duke the Dumpster Drosy was? They should have
Around that time, there was a lot of like wrestling occupations at that time.
That was awful.
And TL Hopper was one of them.
It's ironic because that's very much
he would
now.
shove his
All the
plunger
indie
in.
guys have jobs.
Dale Rutledge at The Walking Dale tweeted, Royal Plungers now available on WWE.com.
That's hilarious.
And then Peter Morris on Twitter wrote back, giving a new meaning to Royal Flush.
Boom.
Got it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Sniper.
Zing.
Laser accuracy.
Very funny.
All right. If you want more zingers like that, just stay tuned. So Wade Barrett comes down to the ring, who hasn't won a match since becoming king, and they have a match, which lasts about 20 seconds. Boot to the face, but then Truth manages to get a roll-up for another victory, and then Barrett attacks him just viciously. So once again, R-Truth, 2 nights in a row, wins on a roll-up, and Barrett, he's a little tarnished.
Yeah, but I feel like he at least saved a little bit of face with the attack afterwards.
I mean, for God's sake.
You know, with the bull hammer, and I mean, like, actually showing some fire for, you know, the first time in a while. Before, I felt like with the whole IC title angle with everyone stealing the belt, it was like perturbed Barrett. Now we're seeing angry Barrett.
I miss Bad News Barrett. I really, really do.
Me too. One of my earliest memories on AfterBuzz was Bad News Kath.
Aww.
But the lectern and the gavel, and I miss those days.
I don't know what's going on. It's like he's the king.
I mean, I'm all for bringing guys up and, like, kind of polishing them after they've been down for so long, i.e. R-Truth, but, like, at the expense of Barrett, it's like one kind of has to suffer for the other to prosper.
Hey, anything to see Truth on TV, I'm on board.
Of course.
And I do like Wade Barrett, so maybe they could. I think they could turn this into a pretty funny feud.
For sure.
It takes a lot of effort, and honestly, nobody. It doesn't seem like anybody's on the production side putting in a lot of effort. So these two guys are going to have to really step it up and go, we want this to really resonate with people and stick in their memories, so they're going to have to put in a lot of work.
They sure will. And you know who else is going to have to put in a lot of work? Machine Gun Kelly, which we'll get to that later on in the show. But first...
My cousin.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Machine Gun Cathy.
You guys look a lot alike.
Yeah. My parents were actually going to name me Machine Gun, and then
should've.
they went with Cathy instead.
Oh, MGK.
Yeah.
So Machine Gun Kelly is backstage with Zack Ryder, the Divas, Heath Slater, Fandango. Because why not?
Yeah, sure.
And Paige said, "Ladies, team meeting. Just follow me. We're gonna have a team meeting." And that was a segment.
Yeah.
So Kevin Owens comes out and he says, I don't need John Cena to endorse me in any way, shape, or form. Cena had the gall to say, "You belong, man. I'm going to shake your hand." He called Cena a bad winner for doing that. That wasn't respect. It was Cena hogging the spotlight. He's like, "I want Cena again, but this time when I win, I want the U.S. title. So tonight, I'm going to have my own invitational." We didn't see Cena tonight. Dolph Ziggler comes out, and I like what he said here. He's from Cleveland. And he said, "This city has scratched and clawed for a title, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to give him one." And KO's like, "Whoa, not putting the title on mine."
He interrupts Lillian Garcia.
Oh, yeah, what do you call it, Blondie?
Blondie.
She should have smacked him one.
And then she would get apron power bombed.
Well,
Oh, no.
That's heat, baby.
Come on.
That's heat.
apparently he'll do it to anyone.
You know?
But they end up having a non-title match, and wow, there was some amazing stuff. I'll allow the two wrestlers to take it away.
I mean, it was phenomenal stuff. You put someone like Kevin Owens against someone like Dolph Ziggler, and it's like the best of someone that was raised on the Indies versus the best of someone that was raised in the WWE developmental system.
Yeah.
I mean, Dolph Ziggler started in OVW. Kevin Steen, obviously a stalwart at PWG, at ROH, all over the place. And so it's the best of both worlds, and I think that really came out in this match.
Mm-hmm.
He was destroying Ziggler. He did. He threw him over the
That German suplex was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Of beauty.
It was beautiful. I mean, it's just Ziggler was taking such a thrashing the majority of this match. Honestly, there was no point at which he was in full control of anything.
Getting thrown into the timekeeper.
Just like flying barricade.
Barely made it back into the ring. I really thought it was going to end via count out. I'm like, there's no way. The distance and the damage.
But it's the best thing about situations like this is that Kevin Steen is so good at beating the hell out of people, and Dolph Ziggler is so good at getting
beat up.
out of him.
That German suplex, that was perfect execution on both ends.
Right, and then those little glimpses of hope, like the way that Kevin Owens takes DDTs, just something as specific as DDTs, it says so much and it adds so much to the match.
So one of the million podcasts that I listened to this weekend was Sam Roberts' interview with Kevin Owens. And we've been talking about on the show recently which title would potentially get more money.
Headcanon pay scale.
Would it be the NXT title or the IC title, even though it's a lesser or US title, sorry, on the main roster? And Kevin Owens actually clarified on the podcast saying that main roster titles get more money. It's just like an added bonus when you get the title. So,
All right.
Good to know.
Thus providing more money for his family.
Of course, and that's why he wants
Little
it now.
Owen.
He's still a man of principle, I guess, and has stepped on that title several times and has no real interest in it.
But
Now he does.
Once again, the stuff that Kevin Owens was talking about, he's one of the most relatable characters on the show, and he's one of their top heels. The things that he's saying about John Cena. In fact, I was Brandon Stroud over at Uproxx, one of my favorite writers, tweeted an observation that's very true, and it's like John Cena only respects you if he gets to beat you.
Yeah.
Cena wins, or Owens wins the first time. Cena gets an immediate rematch because he lost. He gets unlimited. I feel like that's a clause in his contract. Unlimited rematches until I win.
That's just funny.
Well, I really want at the July 4th special for Balor to get the NXT title, and then Kevin Owens is kind of stuck in a position where he has no title now,
right.
and that much more scared, and
that'd be great.
All these emotions on the line.
And
for
Japan would be a phenomenal place for someone like Finn Balor, who is arguably more over in Japan than he is anywhere else in the world, to take that
Not
strap.
a hometown boy, but kind of a hometown boy.
Hometown boy, yeah.
Hometown.
He founded the Bullet Club.
Well, before we end
With
the
Machine Gun Kelly, right?
Speaking of which, nomination for LOL moment of chat roll. Miller SI says, "I reheated a burger during Machine Gun Kelly."
That's fair.
I can just see him going to the microwave like, now's a good time. Just putting it in the microwave, hitting the popcorn button, and then
It
hoping
wasn't really that cold to begin with, but this
fair.
burger can always be hotter. I just Machine Gun Kelly on my television.
the visual reheating of burger while Machine Gun Kelly raps. I just love that.
Like the second he comes on the screen, like, well, that's my cue.
Well,
That was honestly one of the best appearances, though, I think, from a performance after Kevin Owens got involved, obviously.
Right.
But I think that's the way to do it. If you want to come on the show, like, you gotta come on the show. You have to say,
But now there's some sort of musician at the LA Raw.
If only
before
Cathy
Mania.
and Hoda had done that. Think of like what kind of pop they would have gotten.
Say yelling, my mother was born in Brooklyn. All right, so we get the pop-up powerbomb for the win. We got to move. We got 20 minutes left to cover the rest of the
my
Raw.
God.
So we still got to talk about
There's a lot to talk about.
more about Machine Gun
Please,
Kelly.
yeah.
All right, so Paige has a meeting with the Divas, and she says 10 minutes. What the? I thought we had until 9:15.
No, we don't. We have until 9:15.
Okay. So Paige has a meeting with the Divas and says they have to band together against the Bellas. Naomi's like, no, I'm not going to let you boss me around because Naomi's disappeared the past few weeks. Paige said, you know what, I might be crazy because I just challenged the Bellas to a 2-on-1 handicap match. The Bellas show up, the heel Bellas, I guess. And they say, it's a free country. If you want to side with Paige, go ahead, side with Paige. And they all just walk away one by one. So I don't know what... we might have some kind of rise up thing at some point down the road. I don't know.
Again, it's one of those things where I can't get on board with the baby faces just because Nikki.
Who are the baby faces? It's not the Bellas.
Just Paige.
Well, it's
Right.
Paige just doing her best Norma G.
And I think you've been out of the loop because the Bellas have been straight up heels for a little while now.
Okay, so
yes.
this is
Ever since Nikki started doing push-ups and jumping jacks and all
my
that,
problem
they've been
with the
straight up heels.
Bellas is I feel like Nikki is a natural heel and Brie is a natural face.
Right.
And that's where the disconnect is because you can't. I mean, they never addressed them not being friends anymore. They even mentioned that Nikki helped Steph McMahon beat Brie tonight, and Brie was just like, "Oh yeah, I
to say
you."
yeah,
Like,
to say
what?
nothing of the whole servitude
What?
angle. But what I think is that like I can't get on board with the faces because it's like they're treating it. JBL was right. He said it's not like this evil empire. Just because Nikki Bella has been the champion for a while, she's not holding anyone down. It's not like this diva version of the Authority where they're like punishing all these people by putting them in endless handicap matches. She's just been the champion for a while, so I don't really see the motivation there to like lead this mutiny against them.
It's what we've been saying every single week. The Divas division is in complete, utter confusion right now.
Right.
And I feel like it's an udderless ship, and they're trying to find a way to right it, and I think the only answers lie in Orlando right now, I think, if you're going to do anything.
Maybe we should just start all over. Literally take everybody who's on television right now off of television, put them in Florida, and everybody who's in Florida, put them on television.
Crisscross.
Who cares?
Make it jump.
I mean, I think that there are several girls on the main roster who are capable. I mean, we know this of having incredible matches.
Absolutely.
They're just not being utilized in the right way.
Right.
And I think what a lot of people have said in our chat roll every single week or on Twitter, the general response seems to be people understand that WWE wants Nikki Bella at this point to have the longest reigning Divas title because of what happened with AJ Lee.
That's what I think.
And they're just trying to figure out ways to prolong that and keep her with the title.
Yeah.
It's Brock Lesnar.
But it really like it lowers
Youngest champion than Randy Orton.
the women's division having their hashtag be Total Divas the entire show because they have the new show premiering in July. Really?
Well, you know
do you
what's
need
crazy?
to do that?
Right.
Yo, she's got like at least 90 days left before she breaks AJ's title.
No, it's like 100 and something.
Dear God Almighty. Yeah, so it's going to be something.
Yeah. Moving on.
Moving on. Kane backstage. Rollins congratulates him, and he says, you know, my success physically hurts you, Kane. And Kane says, anyone can win one match, but to keep winning, you need a team. And if you don't understand that, you're not an architect, you're an idiot. That's when Rollins mentions his family, meaning the Undertaker, meaning Paul Bearer. Kane gets real mad, which was nice. And then Seth stands up to him and says, you know what, something needs to put you out of your misery. You said we've seen it before. Nonetheless, I always
If I never see another Kane Rollins segment where Rollins says that he's washed up, it'll be too soon.
I know, but I like Kane's
We
intensity.
missed a match.
What did we do? No, we didn't.
We missed Orton
Oh my
versus
God!
Kane.
Randy Orton. I'm sorry, I'm trying to rush. Randy Orton versus Kane. I mean, it became an holds barred match.
Did you do that on purpose or?
Sheamus broke kick and then Kane for the win. So obviously
Kane makes it a no disqualification match.
Yeah, no holds barred. No holds barred.
It's
So Bro Kick, and obviously, like we said, Sheamus versus Orton. Boomtown.
Done.
Another great tribute to Dusty Rhodes with the Hall of Fame induction. Miz versus Big Show at Ryback, the big guy on commentary. And Show... This is another great quote. Show takes control, tosses Miz into Ryback, and he goes, "I got Miz all over me." I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
That was
wacky Ryback commentary.
I'm sure they saw that coming a mile away.
They saw it. Oh.
I will be playing that soundbite on Compadres this week.
If he poked him in the eye, I said, I got Miz in my eye. Oh.
Yeah. Here we go. Nikki's is at 203. AJ's reign was 293.
Okay. So 90 days exactly.
So we're looking Survivor Series.
295. 92 days.
We're looking Survivor Series. They have 4 months to either decide Paige is the one or someone from NXT. Because there's no one else on that roster I think is going to step up and do it.
We'll see.
Or even have the opportunity. So Miz wins via count out after a stare down between Big Show and Ryback. Boom.
Ryback was wearing pants. That was what I took away from this segment.
He was looking more Goldberg-esque than ever in his entire career.
Sometimes you gotta wear pants.
So,
he just looked like such a gym rat. Just all that, just all friggin' lumpy.
He is.
No, I know, but
usually he's in an RVD singlet.
Right.
That's the difference.
I dug it. I like when different. Change it up. Throw on some Adidas pants. Make it happen. So Roman Reigns.
I think
Did you say Adidas?
I sure did. Roman Reigns comes to the ring and he's mad. He's like, "What's Bray Wyatt's deal?" And that's when Bray, quite a long promo. I'm just going to sum it up here when I say, "Two stars will rise. One speaks the truth, the other tells lies. It was you, Roman. It was you who stole my opportunity. I could have changed things, man. I could have been that beacon of hope, but you selfish.
Are you reciting the entire promo?
I am the yin to the yang.
Damn it.
We need each other." And then he holds up the picture of that Father of the Year commercial, whatever that campaign was.
Right, that little PSA.
I'm Father of the Year commercial.
That's where it got good for me.
Yeah.
Fun is just getting started.
That was the most interesting thing because he hasn't done something like that before, and every single promo, it sounds like the same thing. It sounds like the Charlie Brown teacher at this point, where it's like, wah, wah,
exactly.
wah, wah, but in Bray Wyatt's voice.
It's once again, just like, it's the same way that I felt when I saw Seth and Kane. It's like, if I never see another, like, smoke-filled promo where Bray Wyatt calls someone a liar, again, like, it'll be too soon.
He is incredible on the mic. Not saying anything against him.
Yes.
He's incredible. No one can do it like that. But just need to change it up sometimes.
And that's what's so heartbreaking about it, is seeing him in this red, knowing how talented he is.
I also really enjoyed, there was at the very beginning of this a little bit of back and forth. Bray said something and then Reigns said something and then Bray said something again. They need to do that as opposed to having a long 3-minute monologue.
Well, Raw is a great place for good ideas to come in and be utilized until everyone is so sick and tired of them they just want to die.
Right.
So that's Raw.
I think this could be a really fun feud, though.
Yeah.
When you start getting family involved,
and
it makes it real.
Exactly. And the look on Roman Reigns' face when he saw that picture, that is what really was compelling.
And the crowd reaction of all the dudes in the audience going, "Whoa, you stepped over the line."
That's
man.
his daughter.
Right. That's right.
Don't involve family.
Put that teapot down.
Sometimes you gotta involve family.
So it's good stuff.
So Reigns will go after Bo.
There
you go.
Hold his
Nice.
breath.
If there's anything that's going to save this feud, it's that.
He's going to take out IRS.
Oh, man.
That's what you do.
Great.
Pay your taxes. So Paige versus the Bellas, 1-on-2. Bella's in control the entire time. Paige finds a way to counter, hits the Rampage. Nikki with the save. Brie looking rather weak compared to her sister. Then a rack attack for the win, so the Bellas come out on top. We already talked about the Divas Vision.
Right.
Let's move on to another diva, Machine Gun Kelly.
One thing,
Yes.
I'm glad this match had time. It had more time than Machine Gun Kelly.
True.
So I am okay with that aspect of this, at least.
It made Paige look really strong at points, too.
Right.
And I'm also okay with another nomination for LOL Moment of the Year, and that would be after Machine Gun Kelly, Kevin Owens comes out. They have some words, I assume, because Owens mentioned Machine Gun mentioned John Cena before his song. MGK pushes Owens. He gets a kick to the tummy and a power bomb off of the stage.
Yeah.
Onto a mat.
Solid stuff. A lot of carpet padding. But regardless,
Whatever.
It's the thought that counts.
That was
I give him credit.
It's the thought that counts.
I'll give MGK credit, man.
Of course. It was great. he took. I mean, to his credit, he took the kick to the stomach identically to the way that Cena took it at Money in the Bank. So.
That must, I mean,
Right up there.
selling the power of that kick.
Absolutely.
Kevin Owens, he's a stout dude. He's got thick legs.
Kevin Owens just muscling him up for that powerbomb.
And then everyone on Twitter is saying that Kevin Owens is a babyface now.
Exactly. If he
That was his face turn.
Nothing turned him before.
It makes me wonder, are we going to have like a match where like Machine Gun Kelly's in the corner of John Cena or something?
100% yes.
Oh, no. That's not
100% yes.
No one's going to like that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Or a match where it's Cena or it's Owens versus Machine Gun Kelly. There's some sort of interference from John Cena and Machine Gun Kelly gets the win.
Or Machine Gun Kelly on a pole match. Whoever gets him down can grab Machine Gun by the legs and swing him and smack him into the other guy.
See, that's why you're going to run for president.
I'm a man with ideas.
It's like when Big Show put Rey Mysterio on the stretcher. We'll talk about LOL moments.
Oh, God.
And then he just falls. So good.
It's never good to have your arms strapped to your side like that.
But kudos to Machine Gun Kelly for taking the power bomb.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Bravery, cojones.
But see, this moment where Kevin Owens powerbomb Machine Gun Kelly, that's where the show turned for me. That was the turning point for the show. Everything up to that point, I was not on board with. Everything after that, awesome.
Yeah, totally. Something I'm not quite on board with, and I know everyone's going to be shocked because I am the biggest Primetime Players fan that everyone knows.
You don't like that they got the title?
I like
He doesn't like when they got the title.
I wanted to see the Primetime Players fight and claw and scratch for months and months and months while the New Day continues to reign. Why so soon? It doesn't even feel... Like, when I saw them win last night, it didn't even feel like a victory. It was just like, what, already?
They were saying because New Day didn't have the numbers, because usually they cheat to win, and Kofi was wrecked from the ladder match.
Powerbomb through the ladder, yeah. And you know, I agree. I agree with that. The moment that Titus made the pin, it didn't really feel like a title win. But you know, it was what it was, and I think we've got, you know, a solid reign in front of us.
I mean,
I don't know.
Think about it this way: New Day's going to have to turn up the real intensity on this in order to get the win again over BTP. They will turn into the New Day everybody wants to see.
We will see. Either way, they could have a great feud. Go ahead,
You guys, we're getting told to wrap up. Before we get into the last couple segments, just have to say we love all of your feedback here at AfterBuzz. That's what helps us make the shows better. We won't eat cake on air because everyone was mad at that, even though we've done it 20 times before. And we would just love for you guys to give us some feedback on how the shows are doing so that we can improve here. Go to podcast1.com to take a brief survey that'll help us improve our shows. A lot of people have been tweeting us wondering where it is. If you look at the top of the website, it just says like take survey or something. Click there and you will find it. That helps us out a lot. Takes only a little time for you, and we can continue to bring you all of this great free content.
Agree. Let's finish up real quick. Dean Ambrose tossing dart at Seth Rollins. Kane approaches, and they just make fun of each other, whatever, and Dean Ambrose says, I need that title. I'm not going to stop till I get that title. Final segment. Authority says disciplinary action will be taken on Kevin Owens. Don't worry about it. Who will the next opponent for Seth Rollins be? Seth Rollins comes out to the ring, and Triple H says, you know, we need to decide sometimes the investment we made will it pay off, or will the investment be a sunk cost? Which I learned a new phrase. Will you become a diamond from coal?
Well,
Michael?
don't you dare.
We'll find out because the pressure is on. And Hobo, Ty Matthews, Cathy Kelley, who comes out?
Yep. Here comes the pain.
Don't know.
Before we move on, it breaks my heart that we
impression.
can't cover this six-man tag, but please seek it out and watch it because this match was one of the best matches I've seen in a long, long, long time. Watch that six-man, Neville and Primetime Players versus the New Day. Continue.
good. Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, I did not expect him Battleground. No way. I thought it'd be.
I mean, I had heard rumors, but it's sort of like Schrodinger's cat. Like, I didn't want to push it into reality one way or the other. You know, I felt like there were two realities where one existed where he was going to come back and one where he didn't, so I just wanted to wait. I had heard rumors, and luckily it was proven true.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool way to end.
If
No
it
violence.
wasn't for Seth Rollins, this whole thing would have been just like whatever for me.
And Seth Rollins, the work that he's doing with his eyes is 1,000% what we need to make
He
this work.
urinated on himself. I mean, like,
Really?
next to releasing his bladder, he had possibly the biggest reaction you
Yeah.
could have to seeing a man who will murder you.
Really dug the facial expressions from Seth Rollins.
And not only that, if I can rewind a little bit, in the Kane Ambrose segment, Ambrose ending with, Kane, what do you live for? And Kane busting out some facial work that's really, really solid. A lot of character work there.
I was just going to say, I don't even know if Rollins was acting. He was just terrified that Lesnar was standing right there,
couldn't make
looking
eye
at him like
contact
that Jimmy
with him.
John sandwich, about to demolish him.
Yeah.
But I cannot wait. They said the match is official. Seth Rollins defending the championship against Brock Lesnar in 5 weeks at Battleground.
It's going to be good stuff. And, if we're going to have any kind of dusty finish, if you will, on this show, finishing a little early, why not be this one?
A dusty finish.
Not to say that someone's coming in and is going to
A
actually...
new ref is going to come out and end the
Right,
show.
but nonetheless, we're finishing a little bit early. But hey, it was a great show. A lot of stuff to talk about.
Fantastic stuff. Post Machine Gun Kelly powerbomb.
Absolutely, and it was really cool to see the whole team back here, which is nice. So, Hobo, put yourself over, my friend.
You can follow me on Twitter at TrueHobo. ProWrestlingTees.com/Hobo is the t-shirt store. Go buy a t-shirt. And if you want to learn how to wrestle, go to CWFH Training on Twitter. And I'm doing a podcast tomorrow, live from the Armory Podcast. So keep an eye out for that.
All right, Ty Matthews.
As always, Twitter, Instagram, Ty Matthews PMA. I actually found some old Jarek Matthews merchandise, which is apropos for tonight. So if you want to get some Keep Calm and Suplex People t-shirts, follow me on Instagram. You can maybe get some, one of those. And just follow me, guys.
Suplex City.
Yeah, Cathy Kelley.
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly, on Instagram at Cathy Kelley, and I'm doing a What the Francia episode tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Our guest is Maurice, so check it out.
Nice. Okay.
Be sexy, guys.
At J Quasto on Twitter. Denver Comedy Works. I'm going to be in Denver. Yeah. June 25th to 28th. It's an amazing club. If you're in Denver, please come out and see me. Otherwise, jlocomedy.com. This week on Wrestling and Padres, Dale Rutledge and I will have Neville on the show.
What?
Yes. And in studio, we also have Eli Drake from TNA, and we're going to give it a really, really nice tribute to Dusty Rhodes. So please follow us at Wrestling Buds and just look up Wrestling and Padres on iTunes and Podcast One and AfterBuzz TV. So other than that, guys, it's been a really special show. Paying tribute to Dusty. Thank you for all the nice comments and chat room. Yeah, it means a lot to us that you guys watch every single week and listen. We're all one big family, and we all love wrestling, and that's why we're here. So thank you guys. See you next week.
Keep on watching, Daddy.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Sorry.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.